Yes, they certainly are, and mainly because of this story. It's in the buzz now at 9. Should pregnancy have its privileges? A New York City council member, he has proposed a law that would allow women going through a difficult pregnancy to get a special placard that lets them park in no parking or loading zones. Now, they will need a note from their doctor, of course, to qualify. The special parking privileges would last up until 30 days after their due date to get around, of course, any late deliveries. Now at 9, what do you think of this law? And should it be something that we consider here in Arizona?
Well, some states already have laws where you can actually get a handicapped parking placard, if there are complications, in your pregnancy. And also a lot of shopping centers have those expectant mother parking.
I wouldn't say a lot. There's not a lot. Babies R Us has those.
I think
a few malls,
a
few malls.
Very few. And trust me, when my wife was pregnant, we never could ever find those ever.
Really?
So I'm telling you,
Here's
they're
the deal,
not
though. If the handicap parking spot is too far for a pregnant woman to get to the door, should you be out on your own? I don't know. I think parking in a restricted zone or loading zone, I mean, it's there for a reason. It's designated as such, for a reason.
As a woman who was pregnant with twins, I needed a loading zone to get in and out of the car. I mean, here's the problem. I do think that, if you are pregnant and if you are having complications, driving should not be something you should even consider, because anything could happen behind the wheel, which puts you and your child at risk. And if you need to have a loading zone type of a placard in your car, maybe you need to find a chauffeur.
I agree there.
That's a little dangerous.
Well, but at the same time, I mean, just because they're big, just because they're uncomfortable, just because they shouldn't be walking, a quarter of a mile to the store doesn't mean they're not allowed to go out and go shopping. And I do think that our society needs to do what it needs to do to make it easy for people who are pregnant to live a normal life, go out there to the store, go to Babies R Us or what have you, and pick up what they need. Lots of people on both sides on Facebook on this one. Let's go ahead and read a few of these.
James Harvey says, I'm a guy, so I wouldn't have a say in this. But if I did, ha 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 ha, they would have to be at least 4 months into their pregnancy.
Well, Maggie Shaw writes, the question is, does pregnancy equal illness or handicap? No. To say it does implies that women are weak.
Well, Tim Jackson says, I do not think it is fair at all. It would be a sexist initiative. No more special treatment for anyone, actually. Cold-hearted? Possibly. I am quite exhausted of one person or group thinking they are more entitled than another.
Yeah, Beth Bruning agrees with him. No, I would not support a law like that. Walking is healthy. There are expectations, and I understand that.
And Julie Pelly-Monroy says, I think this is awesome. Every pregnant woman should be treated like royalty.
Renee Mercado says, not needed in my opinion. I agree with the opinion that it would be nicer for those traveling with the tiny newborns and all the luggage they require. And I can see what they're saying. When you have babies, all of a sudden you have, not only the extra weight of the baby, but now you're just carrying all this stuff. It's impossible.
But again, the loading and unloading zones, that's where it kind of concerns me, because if we're talking about places, where emergency vehicles need to get into, that's where you come into a little bit of a danger. But I do think that every shopping center, every place where expectant mothers are going should have expectant mother spots.
Absolutely.
In the front, right?
And again, there are shopping centers who do, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, like I said, the only place I feel like I ever see them is at Babies R Us, the baby stores. And guess what? They're always full.
Of course they are.
I mean, every spot should be an expectant mother spot.
In front of Babies R Us,
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, well, here's another story that's getting a lot of attention.